Cyberific Day, chatters! We are here in Mandaluyong sa head office ng Unang Hakbang Foundation to meet an exceptional teenagers and talk about his contributions in drafting the anti-OSAIC law. Una sa lahat, maraming salamat po Unang Hakbang Foundation for letting us have this interview in your good office. Kaya naman hindi na ako magpapatumpik-tumpik pa. Hello, Jimwell. Maraming salamat for giving us the time to interview you.
Ayan, isang makabatang araw sa ating lahat. Ako si Jimwell Forte. I'm 17 years old, currently a grade 12 Humanities and Social Sciences student. I'm also the current president of Pinagsamang Lakas ng Kabataan under Unang Hakbang Foundation, and I'm also the vice president of our school's Supreme Student Government. I've been advocating for children's rights for over 5 years, and I've also been a community peer tutor under Unang Hakbang Foundation for over 7 years.
Paano ka kaya or paano mo na-discover ang Unang Hakbang Foundation? And paano ka naging member nito?
Actually, Unang Hakbang Foundation is the mother organization of other sub-organization of it, like 4K or Kabataan para sa Kinabukasan ng Kapwa Kabataan. So I became a member of Unang Hakbang Foundation and 4K through a relative of mine. So in-invite niya ako na maging peer tutor doon because I was really interested in public speaking, and I believe that if I learn how to teach children, I would also improve my public speaking skills. So I joined Unang Hakbang Foundation, and through that naging member niya ako ng 4K, which is an organization that advocates for inclusive education, and we also teach children in our community regarding on basic literacy like pagsulat, pagbilang at pagbasa. After that, I became a member of Pinagsamang Lakas ng Kabataan, and right now, I'm its current president.
Yun nga, with that regard, no? Can you share us the activities that you do as a member of this organization?
Okay, so I've mentioned earlier that I'm also a member of 4K, and we advocate for inclusive education, and we also teach children in our community basic literacy skills. Right now, I am not really an active peer tutor because I'm a graduating student, but throughout my recent years po, I've been teaching children in my community every after class. In PILAC naman po, or Pinagsamang Lakas ng Kabataan, I advocate through teaching other children in my community about children's rights and responsibilities, and I also do representation matters. Actually, I've been a BCPC child rep in my barangay and also the vice president of LCPC Children's Federation. And I also represent children in my community in various consultations and forums in national and local level po.
Ikaw ay isa sa mga kabataan na lumahok sa multi-sector and national consultation in implementing rules and regulations ng RA 11930 or Anti-OSAIC Law. Paano bang naging proseso ng consultation na ito? Can you share or tell us about it?
Yes. Actually, I was able to join 2 consultations for the RA 11930. Nung una, yung special consultation, and the other one was the NCR consultation. I think it was just like ordinary consultation that I've joined throughout the years, unless I accept that it was a bit more serious because we are talking about the law. And not a lot of children knows what is RA 11930, so it was a bit difficult for the organizers to talk about this. So, of course, we've started with some orientation on what is children's rights, what is our responsibilities, and they've also discussed what are the salient points of our RA 11930. After that, we proceed to the consultation proper. So we were asked what are what are the things that should be included in the IRR that was not mentioned in the salient points. And we were also given a chance to clarify what are the points that were not said during the discussion, and what are the things that we wanted to emphasize in the IRR.
Ayun nga, nabanggit mo na nga yung process, no? How about you personally? I'll be asking you like a very intimate question. How did you feel about knowing OSAIC? And during this process, ano yung mga naramdaman mo habang pinaglalaban nito or while drafting this law?
To be honest, wala akong prior knowledge on OSAIC before I even advocated for it. Like, hindi pa kasi ako nakakasali ng OSAIC-related activities noon, so I wasn't really aware of the OSAIC issue. However, when I began to dive onto that issue more and began learning the stories of children behind OSAIC, it felt like I needed to do something. Like I needed to use my platform to speak for it, even though I don't experience this firsthand. And I think the government and other stakeholders should spark a message on this, that hindi natin kailangang hintayin na ma-experience to ng mga bata bago sila bigyan ng platform na makapagsalita dito. It was fulfilling for me to participate in this kind of activity, especially that I'm giving voice to the voiceless children. And I think every child rather needs to learn about these kinds of issues, not just OSAIC, but rather the whole spectrum of children's rights violation, for them to be aware and for them to protect themselves po regarding on it. Aside from OSAIC, actually, I'm also advocating for meaningful child participation in the government settings po. I think it's very important and crucial for children to participate in issues and matters that affects them, not only because these issues and problems affects us, but rather this is a sign that the government is actually strengthening their commitment to the Article 12 of the UNCRC, which is about child participation. Every child must be given a platform to speak for what they are fighting about. And I think it's not just me who wants to do this, but rather all children in the Philippines, because I think this is a basic right that every child must have, and this shouldn't be a privilege that should just be accessed by those who has an opportunity to access it.
With this, ano-ano yung mga natutunan mo sa experience na to?
Regarding on the experiences, marami akong parang realizations na nakuha, especially nung drafting ng IRR ng anti-OSAIC law. One of those realizations is like na-realize ko na these policies, these laws must adapt to the ever-changing world. Na yung mga problema kasi sa child rights violations, they are not staying on what they are evolving, and the laws that protects children against these issues should also adapt to it. And the government and other stakeholders must do their best to give platforms to children to speak up about these issues, for them to be heard, and makapagbigay sila ng rekomendasyon at solusyon para ma-address yung mga issue na to. Second is that there were some stories na I know na hindi ko pwedeng banggitin dito because they are quite confidential. I've learned some heartbreaking stories from my fellow children regarding OSAIC, and that has made me realize that OSAIC is not just a one problem, but rather a pervasive one, like poverty, na nakaka-apekto talaga sa kanilang well-being. And I hope yung mga taong nakakapanood sa akin at nakakarinig sa akin ay maunawaan na yung OSAIC. It's a big problem that we should address right now. We should act on it right now.
So, ang last kong tanong, marami sa mga kabataan natin na walang kamalayan sa mga nagaganap na social ills at issues sa ating kapaligiran o sa ating bansa. Ang ilan sa kanila nga ay may sariling mundo sa social media at walang awareness sa kaganapan sa komunidad kung saan sila ay bahagi. Ano kayang maiiwan mong mensahe sa kanila, gayon din sa tulad mong lumalahok at nangangarap sa mga tunay na pagbabago para sa ating bayan?
Malay natin, di ba? Yung mga batang pa lang yun, the parenting approach that was given to them was not something that would craft them into being more aware on social and political issues. At saka yung education system din natin kasi, although some says that it was designed to make children and students be globally competent, nakikita ko as a student na malayo pa talaga tayo sa ganong antas, na yung education system natin, it is not yet something that would craft us to be socially and politically aware, na maging globally competent tayo. On my message towards those children and youth who are unaware of these social and political issues, I think it's time for them to use their eyes, to open their eyes, to be aware on these issues that affects not just them, but also other children. I want them also to use their ears and their mouth as well, their voices, to listen to every child who are not really given any platform to speak up, who are voiceless, and use their voices to be their voice. And I also want them to open their heart and be more empathetic on every child and share their struggles and pain, and let that pain and those struggles to be their fuel and their drive to advocate more and to fight for every child who are sharing the same problem po.
Diyan na po nagtatapos ang ating interview with Mr. Jimwell Forte. And again, this is Tay Adnim, your Cyber Patroller here on Cyber Patrol. Sa uulitin!